allow the sentiment of tribalism, you know, if we do not allow impunity in AMAC, if we ensure that every local ordinances, are reinforced fairly and transparently, then of course a new Nigeria will be possible, one where justice is not bought or delayed or denied. And I know that it begins right from the ground zero. Mr. Peter Obi often says that if the president does not steal, if the wife does not steal, and the children alike, that the issue of corruption will be 50 solved. And it begins from Amak, where the Aso Rock is resident. And that's why I believe that Amak is the most important geographical space in Nigeria. Once we can make a symbol of the rule of law right here in Abuja Municipal Area Council, it will automatically just, gravitate, towards every other local government in the country. In any case, we've often said that politics is local. And I believe that governance is also local because for most of the things that we're holding the presidency accountable for, holding the governors accountable for, is actually right before and beside us. If you go to Europe and other places, the local government actually determines who and what becomes the citizen because security, economy, infrastructure all begins right from the local. And so that makes AMAC the most important place. And if we can get economic inclusion, because we have our market is filled with a lot of artisans, market women, young innovators. If we can lock up, and allow the opportunities to blossom, and create hubs for micro industries and local business people, startups, and the corporations alike, then we will see that springboard go around the country. But today, as we speak, injustice is walking on its two legs. Young, brilliant mind opportunity. As a matter of fact, a few months ago, all the pupils, students, and primary school.
Dr. Mo, we seem to be losing you. Could you check your connection, please? Hello, Dr. Mo, are you there? Okay. It appears that the usual suspect, which is network, has happened to Dr. Mo. Hopefully he will rejoin us. And before he does so, let me speak briefly
Yeah, I'm not
about.
back. I was
Are you
completely
back?
removed. Oh yeah,
Okay. All right. Can you
yeah.
you want to continue? For a
Okay,
few
yes.
more
So I'll
minutes
just
and
finish
then
up
we
and
can
round up.
talk
I don't
about
know at what
Christmas.
point I was removed actually.
You were talking about the school children. Um,
Yes.
yeah, that was the last thing you said.
So yeah, for many months, our children were completely out of school without the urgency of attention. You know, and of course we know that the primary and the most important uh, human capital development index is education. I mean, it is completely unacceptable that we have children out of school for that length of time, and this is what it means when we talk about a new Nigeria, where, of course, we'll have not just free education for, but quality, public education for all people, you know. And so this is where, the new Nigeria begins from to ensure that we have a primary health care, working, having opportunity for young people, and of course, attending to leadership that is not absent. As we speak right now, if I ask how many of us here know who the AMAC chairman is, I doubt if there's anybody here who knows who the AMAC chairman is, because it's almost like living in London and not know who the mayor of London is. So I believe in leadership that is accountable, that is visible, not what we have right now, where you just have ghost councillors and ghost chairmen all over the place. We should ensure that we are accountable to be able to publish, and hold town hall meetings that will create a feedback mechanism where the people lead their leaders. When government becomes that of service, not a privilege, then and truly then can we say that a new Nigeria is born. It begins from this local, place of governance. And this is what I believe that the new Nigeria is about in terms of building the foundation for our people. And if ever we truly believe in the things that I've said in just these few points of education, of security, of the opportunity, of economic bounties, and ensuring that we have visible leaders, then as obedience and people and for lovers of Nigeria in diaspora and abroad, to begin that means that we must ensure that we have the mayor or the chairman of Abuja. I'm not campaigning, but that's the office I'm running for. It requires to have somebody who understands the world, but yet one who is deeply rooted here. And if you're listening to me, I've been here for about 40 years. I've been around the world. I believe it's time for us in the diaspora to begin the work here and ensure that we implant something here. We can do this. And in doing that, honestly, a new Nigeria will begin because I'll be accountable to all of you and much more. This is my submission tonight to the House.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Mo, for that passionate submission. I know some of us here will be wondering why Dr. Mo is speaking about AMAC. And I guess we need to put some context to it to help us before I invite Dr. Tanko, who I understand is now in the building, to speak to us. Right. In the diaspora, one of the things that we often say is that we don't have the right people in public services, in public office. Right. And one of the things that we can do as a diaspora is to create a platform where we groom, we fund, sponsor, whatever you want to call it, people who share the same ideology of as us, who want that new Nigeria that we all want and are desperate for to happen. Dr. Mo is our test case of how well can we as a diaspora support candidates in Nigeria through various means. Right, we have demonstrated during the last election cycle that we can deploy our funds, we can deploy strategies, we can support those working in the grassroots, right, to do many things. Right, we did that. No one can take that away from us. But now that they've seen us arrive, they want to see what we can do, and Dr. Mo is a test case. So, in terms of what other things that we could do, Dr. David alluded to some of it, and it's like if we're organizing the diaspora, very numbers. I mean, we see people of from other countries, right? They get together and they push for things where they are, right, where they want to see a change in, I don't know, foreign policy as it relates to their own home countries. Therefore they become lobbyists, they become pressure group, they become all of that. Right. And it's important that we understand that our numbers, and again I will refer to that um 70 million Nigerians in the diaspora. Right. I'm not saying all of them are obedient. I'm saying a vast majority of them want to see Nigeria work, and it's how we get organized and position ourselves in a way that we support the candidature of people who we believe align with our ethos, are obedient in the sense that they are competent, they have capacity, they have character, they are compassionate, and all the C's that we know that we has led us to becoming obedient, because those are kind of like the things that we see in Peter Obi. And it's also important for us to recognize that whilst a lot of the focus is on the next election cycle, for us in the diaspora, we need to think long term beyond that, right? In a conversation I had with Peter Obi some months back, when we were talking specifically about the diaspora, he called the diaspora the heart, the soul of the movement. And we have. I mean, it's like if you go on social media, we're usually the ones there, jumping on spaces, getting involved in conversations, doing whatever we feel we can do. Right. I don't have the total figure, but I know that the remittances that happened during the last election cycle was beyond belief, which means that when we all have the same kind of mind and focus, we can do great things. And it's just about us galvanizing it in a way where we are very intentional about what we want to achieve and we're very deliberate as to how we do that. Right. So I will now, I think, Dr. Tanko, are you there? Are you here with us, Dr. Tanko? If you're here with us, could you please unmute and speak to us? Welcome.
Sister B, I'm actually here with you, but I'll need like 5 minutes because I just got into Zambia and I'll just get back to you. I'll just settle down, then I would respond. So if you can just give me like 5 minutes, please, I'll be fine. Just gotten back from Kano. That you know how these movements are. So good afternoon or good evening, everyone, and any part of the world that you are. Please, I'm saying hello. Just give me 5 minutes and I'll join you back, please.
Okay, that's fine, Dr. Tanko. 5 minutes and not a second more.
No problem.
Dr. David, let me hand over for you for a second.
Yes, Senator Nenadi in the House. She had told me that she was going to be here. She had other engagement, but if she's in the House, can she let us know so she can speak? So if Senator Nenadi is here, please just let us know. That unmute yourself and let us know. While we wait for that, I see there's some question on the chat about how long this meeting is going to last. We're scheduled for 1 hour, 30 minutes max. We started a little late. We hope to be on time. So please bear with us. I want to talk a little bit about what Dr. Mo said, and we have talked about supporting Nigerians who have integrity, people who are honest, people who align with our understanding and vision for Nigeria. If you look at the movement, the Obidient New Nigeria Project movement, and it's important to underscore, as Belanli said, that this movement is not just only people who are obedient, but it's also people who are not obedient, but they want to see Nigeria work. And I think the New Nigeria Project, which Peter Obi himself endorsed as we were putting together the concept for structuring the movement, is an important all-embracing umbrella for people who want to be part of this movement. Going back to Dr. Mo, I have worked very closely with Dr. Mo, and some of you have. It's very dedicated and passionate about Nigeria. He's almost an idealist, but not only an idealist, but somebody who can actually make things happen. If you look at this movement, since 2023, whether it's the Labour Party you want to look at it from, or from the movement, there hasn't been an election victory for the movement since then. Here is a chance for the movement to score a win. This is going to be a tough battle in Abuja, but the composition of Abuja gives us hope, because Abuja is not just a village or a state where somebody controls. We know there's Wike there, where somebody controls the population. The enlightened you have retired generals, you have traders from all parts of the country, you have workers, you have business people in Abuja. So if we look at it and there's a good ground game, then it's possible it will be an important victory for the movement, not only because it's the federal capital from which there's a bridgehead to launch into the future. If you look at the political scene, a lot of things are happening that are uncertain. Hopefully, Dr. Tanko will talk about that when he gives his update, and questions will go in that direction. But it's important for the movement to have a project. This is the project that we're working on now, and this is how going to happen before 2027. It's happening in 2026. How would it look like if the movement, those who want a new Nigeria, have somebody that they can rely on, somebody they can work with, have a place from which we can begin to build that new Nigeria that we all desire, that we've been talking about. So I think it's important that we take that into account. Some of us are not politicians. I'm not a politician, but I comment on politics. And we've come to see that one of the ways that we can bring about new Nigeria, it's participation. Some people have political ambition. They want to contest the position. The political landscape is unclear and confusing, but I think we can get some clarity about this position that Dr. Mo is running for, and see whether we can lend us support to make this happen. Going back to the Diaspora Directorate, we have, as I said earlier, shared the different regions and zones. Dr. Tanko is back, so I'll let him speak before we talk about some of the things that have been happening in the Diaspora Directorate. So Dr. Tanko, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Dr. David. Thank you, Sister Balanle, and thank you, everyone, for being part of this very important meeting. I know quite a number of you must have been wondering why did it take us so long to get this connectivity with those of our brothers and sisters in diaspora. I can tell you it has been a Herculean task of getting us to where we are at the moment. And I've had this particular feeling right from the beginning that there's a lot of issue of trust deficit within those of us who are back at home, and those of you who have been supporting the movement long even before now. And then we needed to gain that trust back. And that was the reason, one way or the other, we had to do a lot of things at home to ensure that we get your trust back. This is very important to every one of us, from Dr. Mo, Sister Aisha, Bolanle, Dr. David, and everyone that has been involved in the movement. I know back then, quite a number of you, a lot of you have done a lot of them not accounted for. And so quite a lot of people have a lot of apprehension, especially during the election too. A lot of people were expecting a lot of things to happen, but some of them did happen, some did not. So we are here to say thank you to every one of you for doing what you did, how you did it, what you did, and what you will continue to do, because we have a job at hand. And I want to thank you for having this particular trust in us to get to this level. By the end of September, or early September 5th, this particular leadership will be up and running. We will have been 1 full year. We are not up to 1 year yet. And I must say, quite a lot of things have been done. I'm sure some of you must have come across them, you've seen them, and still you may have some questions. But now that we've gotten this situation and the movement structured to this level, it is now ample time for us to get you on board. And getting you on board for you to understand what we've done over the months that have come in. And starting from the day in which I was announced, yes, some may have queried it, some have given it their full chest support. And then one way or the other, it was a quasi-election or quasi-support. But then the trust you gave to us, we've been able to put it on board to tell you that, look, we are committed. And our interest is nothing but to ensure that His Excellency Peter Obi becomes the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we hit the ground running, thanking everybody, listening to some of your suggestions. Some of these suggestions, we put it on board, and we're able to take more as we move along. Within the last few months, we've been able to have the directorate of the Obidient movement on. We have like 9 directorates. And from there, we dovetail into advocacy around the country for people to know exactly what we are trying to sell to the Nigerian people and you in diaspora. We moved ahead to have what we call national coordinating councils.
This meeting is being recorded.
Representing every state of the country. And we all know that the major problem we had in 2023 was that we were not able to close up those gaps of making sure that we were represented in every nook and cranny of this country, especially the polling units. Right from the one, I identified that we need to cover those 176,000 polling units. You in the diaspora have been supporting with finances, even advocacy, generating funds and all of that to make this happen. But if you notice, from the 4 programs that we've done about the advocacy program, we didn't get any finances or support from the people in diaspora. And it was deliberately so, because what we wanted to do was to ensure that those of us at home too can show our capacity and commitment to the movement. And to the glory of God Almighty, we've been able to get a lot of financial support in-house. And that was how we were able to do the first program we did in Kano, the second program that we did also in Onitsha, the third program we did in Gombe, the fourth program we did in Lagos, with a lot of doubting Thomases, but it went on. Now we have the South-South preparing ground for their own advocacy and probably a kind of a convention too in South-South. We will end up in Abuja. That represents all the 6 geographical zones. But most importantly, for me, is the responses that we've gotten from all the states. Today, we can beat our chest and say we have authentically leadership of the Obidient movement across almost all the 36 states, including Abuja. They are on ground. They are both on the social media, but they are also physically on ground. When I say physically, we can also call numbers and names and announce to you, these are your people on ground. Yes, some of us may not be the best of all. It may not be the most handsome, the richest and all. But the fact remains that all of us are obedient and we are all committed towards this particular goal. And we are committed to work together as a team to ensure that we get the result that all of us desire. A leadership led by Peter Obi, targeted to good governance, in collaboration with every one of you. So as we have reached this particular we've been able to connect not only to the states, we now have local government councils, leaders. As I'm talking to you right now, I'm just coming back from Kano State, and we all know the challenges that we face in the north. We are not only in the local government, we are also now in the wards.
Yeah, there is a vulgar.
Hello. Can I continue, please?
Sorry, Dr. Tanko, we have somebody who is spamming our chat with vulgar photos and what have you. Well, continue speaking. We'll deal with it. Continue, sir.
Okay. So eventually, are now going down to the ward level, the local government and the ward level. We just set a target after we had a meeting with all the state coordinators yesterday, and virtually almost all of them were in the meeting. We set a target that we should be able to finish this particular structural building by the end of August. Some are asking for a little bit of time, but we are saying August should be the day that by that time, we should have covered almost all the wards. And that way we can beat our chest that at the touch of a button, we will be able to connect with everybody from Inlela to Ikete, Zambiza to Ikorodu and the rest of them. So the country is now covered. So, but then if we are finished internally, what happens to our borders in diaspora? And I'm glad to say that we have been able to now connect, and Dr. David and Sister Bolani have been able to bring out a kind of a sequential positioning of our brothers and sisters in diaspora, for them now to own this particular project, for them to be in the position. We are not selecting anybody. We never did. What we only did, we open up the space for nominations and all. Now we are putting up a call-up for everybody around the world to join us. Now that one way or the other we've been able to earn your trust, you can now have leadership of the diaspora nominated by you, connected by you, so that when you do any contribution, you can be rest assured that every kobo, every dime that you bring in will be accounted for. We are not only restricting you only to issue of donation. We want intellectual capacity that can be able to help us in the areas of needs. Is it in the ICT? Is it in the media? Is it in the mobilization? Is it in the issue of legal? Is it in the issue of strategy? Any area that you know can be instrumental to making this particular movement stronger, we are ready to listen and we're ready to take in your advice. This particular leadership is not dormant and is not autocratic. Neither is it a laissez-faire. Neither is it only democratic. We will take all the mix of leadership role in order to get us the result that we want. I will use this opportunity to thank you for the time that you've given us to consolidate to this particular level. Now it is now for us to take into what we want to do. Look, these things are no more, and you all know it's not a child's play. It requires concerted effort, concerted and consistent effort for us to be able to submerge this particular set of people who have deliberately taken us and kept us and our people in poverty. I believe that you can help, you can support, you can give us all the requirements that we need to help us achieve this purpose. We have a test case already in our hand. Dr. Mo, the secretary of the movement, is running for an election. It's not any election. It's not an ordinary election. It's a super election where there is people who are already in position of power are boasting that they've already had the result written. We need to show that strength of the mass to give Dr. Mo the necessary support that he requires for us to win that election. By simply winning that election, it simply means that we are ready to take on the Asu Villa at time T without any mixing word. We will be more strategic this time. We'll be more physical this time. We'll be more stronger this time. But never be a pessimist. Be an optimist. Do not be scared. You have generals who are ready to go into this particular battle. We are not afraid. Neither can we be intimidated. All we want is that at the time we say, hey, we have soldiers behind us that can say, hey, hey, so that we can move together as one. I'll be ready to answer questions that you may wish to ask me. And I want to thank you so much for the support given thus far. Remember, a new Nigeria is possible only if we work together. God bless you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tanko. Thank you for that. As just reiterating what Dr. Tanko has said, a lot of work has been put into building the structure, right? And at the moment, it remains an interim one. However, once everything is completed and we have our governance arrangements in place, then the structure will be more democratic, because I know some people have complained about um, about the fact that there are certain people who have been nominated. But that's the easiest way to get something started. It's an evolving structure, so we're learning as we go along. And Dr. Tanko has literally been all across Nigeria trying to make sure that it all works. Right, so as us in the diaspora, we are looking at it from afar. So basically what Dr. Tanko needs from us, is to work with them, right? And that is the work we're going to start doing, and you will all have an opportunity to take part in that, is to find a way in which we can interact with the center, which is the National Coordinating Council, and the directorates that come under it, how we in the diaspora can work with them in a meaningful way, and not haphazardly, or the way we worked in the past. Whilst there's some strengths there and things that we can learn from. What we need more than anything else is a more coherent way of working, so that we can support whatever's going on in Nigeria, whilst also becoming formidable wherever we are in the world. I'm going to hand back to Dr. David. Dr. David, I don't see Senator Nenadi. I don't see her. But let me hand back to you for the minute, Dr. David.
Yeah, I think there are lots of hands up. I think what we should do is to try and get some questions. Dr. Tanko, can you, before we go into questions, just give us about some update about what is happening politically in Nigeria? If you could just tell us that briefly, then we can go into question and answers. Dr. Tanko.
Yes, please. Well, at the moment now, there's a lot of politicking taking place in Nigeria. We have a beautiful bride, and that particular bride name is His Excellency Peter Obi. Now, everybody wants to coalesce with Peter Obi. Political parties, I can count up to about 6 political parties who want Peter Obi to be their presidential candidate in their political party. I can. And this political party, ranging from ADC, Labour Party, there is ADP, there is APP, there is PDP, and at the same time, too, we have people waiting in the wing, new political parties and all. So you see, we have already a candidate that Nigeria wants. For us, it's just for finding a way of working together with everybody to get the end result. Yes, the challenges are there with regard to the ADC, with regard to the PDP, with regard to all of these political parties. But the most important thing here is that they all want Peter Obi. So how do we midwife this particular, humongous request of just one soul? We are the strength of that particular movement. We, together with you, are the one that gives strength and give back to this particular love that is being shared to Peter Obi. It is we that work assiduously to ensure that happens. So It is the same we that will make it happen. So my request, and I know it is the position of His Excellency, is that we should continue to build our movement. Let's get the structure completed. Let's get numbers around the polling unit on a continuous basis. Let's continue to sell our candidate. Let's get him attracted to every nook and corner of this country, irrespective of your religion or tribe and all. You know a good thing when you see one. Remember this particular advert, if you've all been there in Nigeria, is a Japanese advert. It says, you come nine. That's LG product, good thinking, good product. So we have that. It is now all left for us to make sure that we show that particular strength, that yes, this particular candidate can deliver. As of this morning, this morning, His Excellency still tweeted that he is not asking you to give him 8 years. He is saying that just give me 4 years and you will see wonders. And that is a hallmark of a man whose integrity is intact. So as we speak right now, the politicking is on. A lot of meetings are going round. But one of the things that makes us more attractive is this particular name, the Obidient, and we are adamant. What we want is good governance. And we believe that Peter Obi is the leader that can lead us to that particular. At least let's start looking for solution. And Mr. Peter Obi has that particular idea of solution cut out for him. So as far as I can tell you, this is some of the things that are happening around the country. The people are jostling for position and doing, but the key person is His Excellency Peter Obi.
Thank you, Dr. Tanko, for that update. Bolanle, I think we can open the floor for question and answers. There are some hands up there. Let's now begin to take questions.
Yeah. So some housekeeping. In order to ask a question, your hand needs to be up. When we call out your name, please just go straight to your question. Introduce yourself and go straight to your question. The shorter you keep it, the more people that can ask their questions. And if you are able to direct it specifically to a person, do so. If not, if it's a general question, we will try and answer it as best as we can. So please, let's do this in an orderly manner so that we can allow people. I can see there's quite a few hands up. I want to be able to answer. We want to give as many people as possible an opportunity.
Excuse me, Bolanle. Let Nexus speak for about 2 minutes. And before we take the question, sorry about that. Nexus C is there. Let him just speak for about 2 minutes.
Absolutely. That's fine. I think even Anthony might be here somewhere. He could talk about the digital community. I don't know if he's in yet, but he was trying to get in for quite a while. Right. Okay. That's fine. Nexus, if you want to speak for 2 minutes, and then I will open the floor to everyone else. Many thanks. Nexus, are you there?
If he's not there, then we can take questions until he comes back online. Nexus, can you unmute yourself and speak or we could proceed with the...
People are unable to unmute, so I'm trying to... Dr. David, you're on the computer. If you highlight him and you unmute him.
Yeah, there was somebody who hacked into this with about 90-something posts. So Century and I are also on the back trying to delete all the vulgar. So
Century, if you're here with us, enable people to unmute. I mean, obviously, we're going to be ordered, and people are not going to unmute unless they're called upon. So, Century, can you do that really quickly? Thank you.
So who are we unmuting?
Nexus, I'll do that. Nexus is...
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll be brief. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you to the organizers for putting this together. Thank you, Dr. Mo. I'll start calling you Your Excellency. I told you we need to speak this into existence. And so Your Excellency, Dr. Mo, thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Dr. David, Balane, Dr. Tanko, for gathering this esteemed group. As was mentioned, my name is Nexus C. I'm an attorney by trade. I'm a lawyer, a partner at Melvin & Myers based in New York. It's an international law firm, but I sit in New York. I'm also of Naija We Can, and we have some board members here. Dr. Meroa, Dr. Ikem, and some others are also here to support Dr. Mo on this initiative. Basically, what we have set out to do is to form a pact, a political pact for Nigerians in the diaspora. Essentially, what we've tried to do, and we've done successfully, is give everyone in the diaspora a means not to sit on the sidelines and a means to get involved. And how do you do that? You do that through your economic power, by converting your economic power to political might, backing people on the front lines like Dr. Tanko, Dr. Mo, His Excellency Peter Obi, and so many others that want to see the new Nigeria that we all aspire to bring to life. And so we are going to be working with Dr. Mo, working with all of you, find ways to pool our resources and to power this campaign. The same way for those of us who are in the United States who supported Kamala Harris, if there are any Trumpers here who supported Trump, we have this essentially the same vehicle, which is a political pact that allows you to pool funds tax-free to support candidates of your choice. We were thankfully able to raise thousands of dollars for His Excellency Peter Obi, and our plan is to do this very same thing for Dr. Mo, hosting fundraisers across the country and quite frankly across the world to ensure that his campaign has the resources to combat what we know is coming, the onslaught that's coming from the federal government and others. And so the time is now, which is to no longer sit on the sidelines and to find ways to use our resources to power candidates like Dr. Mo. It's very, very exciting to support a candidate like him because, as he said, and as Dr. Tanko said, this is all leading up to the primetime event, which is 2027. And the best thing we can do to make a statement is to show what we can do by powering Dr. Mo to the finish line and powering his campaign. And so I'll keep it brief there. I don't know if Dr. J or Dr. Mera wants to make a few brief remarks, but I'd like to cede my time to them if they want to just add to that. There are other organizations similarly functioned that we have also put together. Naija Cares, which was actually a brainchild of Dr. Mo, which is a 501c3 organization that would help when things happen on the ground and we need to help people with resources either through healthcare or legal fees. And we also have Empower Naija that was also recently created as well to help power the movement. So I'll cede my time to either Dr. J or Dr. Mera if they're still on the call to add a few 2 cents. But thank you everyone for joining. I always say this whenever I'm given the privilege of speaking. It takes people like us, everyone on this call, who are willing to take their time, their effort, their energy, their intellect, their resources, their experiences, bringing it all to bear towards a common purpose bigger than all of us. And so I thank every single person on this call for taking their time on a Sunday to sit and have this conversation and to strategize about the future of our country. For those that are unfortunately leading Nigeria in the wrong direction, they meet constantly about how they can use Nigeria for their own personal good and their own personal gain. For those of us who want Nigeria to progress, for those of us who want to bring the vision of a new Nigeria to life, we have to do the same thing and 2 times more, working twice as hard. And so I applaud every single person on this call, and I look forward to working with all of you to ensure that next AMAC chairman is no other than Dr. Mo. Thank you so much for your time.
Dr. Meroa, you are being unmuted. You can speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gula, and thank you, C, for ceding some of your time to me. Thanks, everyone, for being here. I wouldn't go too much into preambles, but just to sort of reiterate what Nixie C has said. We've created 3 platforms, and our goal is to get at least 200,000 diasporans to make a commitment. And we're using $5 as our minimum entry point. And if we can get 200,000 diasporans to give us $5 each, that's $1 million. And of course, I know there are many of us that can give more than that. But the idea is to really not only talk the talk, but to walk the walk. If you give us your name, give us $5, give us your email, give us your text, give us your phone number, we can keep you updated on things that are relevant. And obviously, we will make sure that your $5 is used in the most prudent way. The second thing also is that there are different platforms. There are people who may want to give and will not want to know that they are giving. Our 501c3 and our 501c4 allows you to do that. The difference between those two is that for 501c3, you can deduct your contribution from your taxes if you're in the United States. And for 501c4, you will not be able to deduct your contributions, but it's not taxable to the work we do in Nigeria, whether we do it through Dr. Mo, whether we do it directly, we will not have to pay taxes for that. And for some of you that were involved in the Obidient movement in 2023, you knew some of the challenges we had with that. But again, at some point, Nexus will be able to share those QR codes, and you can reach any one of us for additional conversation on that. And again, I want to thank all of you. The work to be done is our work. This is not Peter's work. This is not Mo's work. This is not Tanko's work. This is our work. It is our Nigeria. And for those of us who have escaped because of one reason or the other, it is now time to take back our country. The diaspora can do it, and the diaspora will do it. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Thank you, Dr. Merwa. Thank you, Nexus, for that contribution. We appreciate the work that you've done. Like you said, some of us here belong to different platforms, and work is going on. And part of the work is to try to coordinate all of this effort towards that Nigeria that we desire. So thank you so much for your contribution and all the things that you've been doing. Well, I'll hand over to you for now.
Thank you, Dr. David, and thank you, Nexus, and Dr. Omera, thank you for your contribution. I was hoping that Anthony Chinwo, who's the director for technology and has been working on a digital platform, I was hoping he could speak, but he's not here. So before I go to our to the hands, I'd say very quickly, because I was speaking to him again the other day to clarify what can be done. Right, it is clear because the diaspora is vast, and as such, we need to have a way in which we can not only work with each other, but also work with those in Nigeria who are in the forefront of this fight with us. Anthony has confirmed that the technology can be deployed to make sure that we all are connected to a digital community where, depending on your jurisdiction, you have your own carved out area where you can have your meetings with plugins. So the various stuff that, for example, Nexus is doing, there could be a plugin on the site where you can make donations, or you can have your own local arrangement, because I know that's very much America focused. You can have similar arrangements across the diaspora. The general idea is that when it comes to our money, our finances, we get to choose who we want to finance, what we want to finance, and when. And therefore, there's also transparency, there's accountability, because I know a lot of the complaints that we've had is around money going to Nigeria, the left hand not knowing what the right is doing, and nobody being accountable for the money they've received. And so the idea is to deploy technology to ensure that that doesn't happen. And that reassures us so that we know exactly what our money is going for. So, for example, if you in Germany have decided that you want to fund a grassroots project and stuff, you would see how much you've gathered, you see where it's going and how it's spent. So that's the general idea around that technology. And hopefully we'll all be involved in making that happen. Right. So much ado. Having said that, let me go to the hands again. Please go straight to your question. And you only have a minute so don't focus too much on pleasantries, please, so that we can, as many people as possible can have an opportunity to ask those questions. So the first person I can see is Williams Nwokolo. Dr. David, you want to unmute him so that he can speak, please? Dr. David, has he been unmuted? Or is he able to unmute? Williams Nwokolo, can you see if you can unmute, please? Okay,
Hello.
there you go. All
Hello,
right.
can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. I'll be quick to the point. I have 2 points to raise. One is strategy. I put it on the chat already as well. My question is strategy. Yes, Nigerians, we are very fond of praying, which is very good. But I think we all saw in 2023, we prayed, we did all we could. But yes, it should be a learning curve. I think this time around, we need to be strategic. And I have volunteered that I'm a leadership scholar. I've volunteered that I'll be part of strategy if required. But we need to have an actionable point that this is how we want to attack 2027 to enable us to achieve results. That is one. Two, my second point is there a possibility of all the political platforms in diaspora that are working towards obedient movements, where we can consolidate them under one umbrella with somebody with one focal point, acting as the coordinator and ensuring that we are focused, we are target focused on what we are doing. Those are my 2 points. If we can do justice to that, that would be appreciated. Thank you so very much. Did you hear me?
Yes, sorry. Yes, I do apologize. I did hear that. Our strategy, obviously, we will not discuss openly. However, what we said at the start was that we wanted a way of galvanizing the whole diaspora, and we've divided diaspora into regions, and in each region would have a coordinator. So in that way, it's representative of the people from wherever in the world, as opposed to having just one person. Myself and Dr. David are kind of like just holding the overall coordinator type role. And that's until we have more volunteers who have the capacity to lead from whichever region they're based in. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. But it might be very helpful if it becomes, I know that you're not going to be discussing strategy here, but how would you make that possible? Because somebody like me, I'm interested in seeing actions and seeing how these things work, written down and see how we can we might think we have time. I don't think we do have time as people might think. It's only when you start putting the actions down that you'll be able to understand that there's no time to waste, that we need to get, Obidient is a brand that needs to sell. It's already selling, but I think we're not harnessing it enough. So I don't know how it's going to work, but those of you that are already coordinating this need to maybe put into microstructures to ensure that people can, bring in their their thought pattern and see how this can work.
Okay. Yes. So what's after, I said at various points that at the end of this, before the end of the meeting, we will talk about next steps. And one of that is tell you how you can volunteer and take part. So that we will talk about more towards the end of this meeting.
Okay, great.
Okay. I've got Emily, your hand is up. Do you want to, are you able to, let me see, make sure you can unmute. Emily.
All right, good evening. Can you hear me?
I can. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Mama Bolanle. Good evening, everyone, morning, afternoon, wherever you're spacing from. Apologies if my voice is, I'm a little bit sick. I just wanted to reference the question Laifa asked under the chat section, but because of the person that was using vulgar word, we couldn't see it anymore. She asked a valid question about Dr. Mo, still retaining that position whilst he's in ADC. Should we not have a neutral, person, which is a valid question. I don't know if you saw that. Then my second question is about, somebody talked something about PR. So what are we going to do about knowing what this other APC is like? What are we going to do about PR, especially getting international, media, if we have to pay for that, or how do we go about that to cover, especially during the election, outside the European, media team that will be sent to Nigeria? In order to get all the details and whatnot. I know insecurity is a big thing. What do we do about that? How does PO, what is it planning about PR, especially paid, professional PR? Thank you.
Dr. Tanko, do you want to answer, Emily?
Yeah, I really want to respond to that.
Go on.
The issue of PR, let me make this point known. Majority of the people who we have on board or who we are going to have on board, majority of them are professionals. Some of them do this work for a living. I can tell you for sure, like the team that His Excellency Peter Obi had on the media group, where I was with during the period of the campaign, all of them, almost all of them are editors of newspapers. Editors, that is where they earn their living. But the major problem is that when you are paying somebody to do something for you, he knows that there's a responsibility attached to it because that's where he earns a living. All these people need, by the time we have them, they are volunteers. We just need to give them the tools to work with. If you are going to pay somebody 10 million naira, for you, excuse me, but you don't see the value in it because they are not collecting that 10 million naira from you. But they're supposed to earn 20 million. So imagine if you give them or you support them with 5 million naira, they can do a work of 30 million naira for you because they are convinced. So what I'm suggesting really is that those professionals that we have who are volunteering, we should ensure that we provide enough working tool for them and honorarium for them to enable them work the more. I know we have been scrutinized under our communication directorate. Believe me, the caliber of people that are there, if they to tell you their worth publicly, you'll be amazed. And I also know there are people who want to come in, that is their daily. So let's actually identify those professionals in and outside the country and look at what minimum support in terms of finance that we can give to them to enable them to work perfectly well. I think that will help us and protect our interest, because it is better to have somebody who is naturally committed than to have somebody who is only going to work for you for payment only. When it's naturally committed, it's something he sees it as his own. You're only supporting him to work. So bring them on board. Give us some of them. We'll look at them and say, look, can you do this for us? What minimum support can we give to you? Because as it stands now, the movement does not have any particular money. We don't. That's the truth. We only live on support and donations. So to be able to pay money in dollars, on pounds, to professional media men who may not necessarily have belief in what you are doing, but only want to be paid, there's a problem there. So I don't know. We can examine it and bring in the best hands that we can, who we have to work with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tanko. Basically, media needs money. That's the long and short of it. That if you want a responsive media that can be deployed to counter, the misinformation, disinformation, the propaganda, right? And shine a spotlight on all the things the government is doing wrong. Also being able to link into foreign media and do the needful there. We need money. So that's the long and short of it. And so if anybody is interested, we, as part of this process, let us know. And we would do our best to make sure that you become connected in a meaningful way. Thank you. Lola, sorry if I mispronounce your name. Do you want to unmute, please, and ask your question?
Oh, thank you very much. I want to say thank you for making this meeting, making it more visionable. What I want to say is, first of all, I want to say to Mr. Tanko, thank you very much once again. But I have some reservations to what you said earlier about the PR. To be honest, I think we need a PR. I can understand that we have a lot of people who are volunteers, who are good at what they do, who are experts. We need a PR, whether we are paying for the PR or not, but we need a PR as soon as possible. And I think it's more honorable when we have a PR that will pay, to be honest. I can understand that the media department does not have so much money at this time, but we need a PR. Take, for example, what's happening now on Twitter. We are the one actually trying to disapprove or disprove those misinformation spread against Peter Obi. And many of us have been subjected to a series of threats on Twitter. At a point in time, last few days, my details that I never once posted on Twitter was being posted on Twitter, which I was surprised when I saw them. Some of us that were trying to do these things, we are being targeted. So I think that to actually have a concrete movement and to have a concrete base, to have a concrete voice, we need a PR. Whether we have to get the money, whether we have to put money together and get this PR ready, we need it as soon as possible. These volunteers can always come in handy, can always come to help, can always support the PR media that we have. But we need a PR that must be paid for, must know that they have a job to deliver, must know they will be able to be held accountable if they're not giving us what we expect them to do. But the moment we are waiting to get people who want to volunteers, we just have to keep chasing them, keep trying to encourage them and stuff like that. We don't need that at this point in time. What we need at this point in time is a media that is being paid, that has a job description, that has a time frame to deliver its job. Then secondly, my question is just that, what is the plan of Obidient movement for people who have been harassed, who have been threatened? Because when I got a threat on my Twitter, I spoke to Maurice about it. Of course, I was
very good question.
I was not comfortable about this thing. I never put my details. I was surprised. Some details are very personal to me, and I saw them publicly. And I woke up that morning on my phone. I made about 200 WhatsApp messages on my phone. I was so surprised with what happened until I put my Twitter, and I realized that somebody from the APC department had posted all my personal contacts online.
Lola, hold on. Where are you based?
I'm currently in the United Kingdom.
Okay. All right. So
so
I mean, I understand how you feel. I mean, a lot of us who have been on the forefront have had at certain points in time have been threatened. Right. And the advice I would personally give is you cannot give in to their threats. You cannot. Right. That's what they want to scare you. They want to, that is what they do when you're being effective. So know that you're being effective and that's why you have been targeted. Right. But to give a more robust response, I'm going to ask Dr. Tanko. Dr. Tanko, do you want to say something, please?
Yes, it's part of the grand plan that we have. We know they are going to come at us. In fact, we have not seen anything yet because they are so vicious. Unless they want to just go in and out, do a gutter kind of politics. We are asking people to help us in fortifying also the legal department. People who will be ready to take up legal issues. And then we have to deal with it also politically. There's a team of lawyers who volunteers. I think they're from Australia. I don't know whether some of them are already on this particular platform, and they are ready to work with us so that every issues that we have with regard to issue of legal, they will be able to also take it up and be able to fight, because this is going to be a very, very serious war, and it's not going to be given to, or going to be for the lily-livered. So we must be able to have everybody on board, ready to work in every aspect. Our people will still go out and then they will challenge us. Some of them will be arrested. All of these things will happen. So we are asking for people who are well knowledgeable in terms of the act of legal warfare to join us in the legal department so that they can be able to prepare and take defense of our people, because definitely they will come at us.
Thank you very much. This is a very important thing because
this time around, we are not walking the talk. We are facing them headlong.
I have a plan to fly to Nigeria by the middle.
Lola, right, let's talk behind the scenes.
All right.
We'll discuss this more in more details. Let's move on. Okay, thank you so much. Gideon, Uzoho, I see your hand up. Say, are you can unmute and ask your question.
Yes, thank you everyone listening. Thank you, Mama Balande. Yes, my question is based based on the fact that during the 2023 election, there were so many obedience, right? And I was supporting a lot of groups, and most of them, later on, I understand that most of them are not obedient. I actually paid, but I don't care about it. So what I'm asking now, right now, who do I contact? I'm based in Maryland, DC, United States. So who do I contact for anything regarding Obidient? Who is the authentic, maybe like groups, which authentic group that's actually following our PO? Who do I contact? Like if I want to make a donation, if I want to get information, like if I want to hang out, meeting or anything, who do I contact?
Okay, thank you. That's a good question. In the first instance, you could contact either myself or Dr. David. We're building the structure, so we're building it from the ground up, which means that we are going to be seeking volunteers in all different jurisdictions, in different regions in the world, so that they can take ownership for managing obedience in that locality. Right. So that's the plan. But since that hasn't happened yet and it's still work in progress, if you contact either myself or Dr. David, we'll be able to help you with information if that's what you seek. In terms of the support groups in Nigeria, that's part of the job that the Mobilization Directorate has been doing. Is we've identified support groups, and what I think they were even given a certificate to acknowledge them. And the general idea is that if we have a database of support groups, we know those who are authentic are actually working. But like I said, from a diasporan perspective, in the first instance, contact even myself or Dr. David. And as we build our own diasporan structures, you would then have more information about who is around you locally. Right. So that is where I would leave that at the moment. Right, thank you. If I want to go on to Innocent Chuku, if you want to unmute and ask your question, please.
Hi. Can you hear me, please?
It's like you're a bit faint. Can you speak a bit louder, or are you?
Is it coming out well?
Yeah, now, yes. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. My question is actually like in line with what some people have been asking. I wanted to ask, is the Obidient media team functioning optimally? Or can we call for maybe more volunteers or engage maybe an international consultant, whereby maybe the diasporans can organize ourselves and say, okay, we are taking up this as part of our contribution. I remember 10, 11 or 12 years ago, the APC contracted a firm, AKPD, a Chicago-based political and media consultant, which helped them in most of the things they did. So if it is something we can take up and say, okay, this is part of what we're doing, we just want to know if the media team is functioning optimally the way we wanted it. Another thing I would want to ask is in terms of donation, it is already said that things are being centralized, which is fine, because most of us would naturally want to be doing things maybe on a monthly basis, just like the support we did here. You can just practically go to the campaign office and make your donations and or maybe put your details, and it is deducting things every month or something of that nature, depending on what you choose. We should be able to do that, and that would eliminate any issue of accountability or what's not, because everything is coming centrally and it is being managed from the head. That is basically what I want to ask. Thank you so much for what you guys are doing.
Right. Thank you so much for your question. In terms of PR, because it seems like everyone wants to know. Yes, we do have a communication and media strategy directorate. We've already alluded to the fact that resources are lacking, which means that they're perhaps not working optimally. And the directorate, as well as all the others, are going to be reviewed, because as you know, all of our appointments have been interim. And as we learn more about ourselves and about how we need to work, right, we're going to come up with the strategy. And that's already something that we're already working on. And you will see that when all the necessary tweaks have been made, and you see hopefully a more responsive media and PR. In terms of, I know that APC, I agree, I know they did that, but that's something that we can consider, and we will. Right, so everything's on the table. In terms of the finance, I know the finance director is working hard. Part of the delay is having a bank account that we can use for those in Nigeria, and for the diaspora, we would need to sort things out. I know that's something that I had a conversation with Anthony Chinwo, the technology director, about, and also Nexus has alluded to some ways in which you can make donations, especially if you're in the USA. But as the days go, we're in a review period. As the days go, you will hear more and you'll see more. Thank you for your question. Right, so I'm going to go to the next person. I've got talk to counselor. Do you want to unmute and ask your question, please?
Hi everyone. Good evening. My name is Stanley. So just a quick one, yeah. And thanks to all those that have come to speak to us. I understand all we've said so far about His Excellency Pio being the beautiful bride, and all that. Everything's been said. Now, my major concern is what someone has raised before, but I'm going to ask it in a different way. We all know that the essence of their gathering, wherever they've been gathering for days now, is to legalize their own form of bigotry or legalize their own form of strategic attack. Right? I am interested in knowing how. I'm not saying we should say word for word how they are going to be countered, but also in line with the PR that has been said, I want to know what's being done, to ensure that the wrong narrative, what's being done by the movement, to ensure that the wrong narrative being pushed out there, is being countered with the truth, right? And then the second one would be, how far are we with regards to, formation of structures, real structures across, because we are looking at election like that is far from now. It is not, right? And we know we're no longer doing the Makaranta kind of thing, like where we'll go and sing blah, 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 right? So what are the plans in place for us to build a proper structure? Yes, I know you've talked about that there's a structure, centrally and all that. How about, let me use us here locally as our own ward level? What are some of those plans to get everybody up working? And then the last question will be that, can we start looking at having, a lot has happened in Nigeria over the last few weeks that we've been seeing on social media. We only read the letter from the communications directorate, whom I'm surprised is not here. What about, what's it called? The word has left my head. What about press conferences? Yes. What about press conferences? What are we doing about that? This was what, if we should, I think many of us should go back and see how, the APC and all, when they were opposition, how they were having almost daily press conferences. Are we saying it's not yet time or that? I just want to know what we are doing, with respect to, letting these guys know that we mean business and not just spewing bunkum. Thank you.
Okay. In terms of the structures, Dr. Tanko has already spoken to that. There are state structures which are drilling down into local government and ward level structures that are already being built. Whoever's that is, can you mute, please? I'm hearing some feedback. That is going on in Nigeria, right? Right. So sorry. Yeah. So in Nigeria, there's been a lot of work being done with Dr. Tanko, with Maurice Omoye, who's the director for mobilization, and all the regional and state coordinators who are drilling down into the grassroots. You would have seen on social media the recent event they did for PO's birthday, which was a mobilization tool and an opportunity for us to show that we're still very much there. We already know, like, there's no official campaign. The APC is already in campaign mode. So we already recognize that. And we're working towards ensuring that all the structures that we need, that were lacking, especially during the last election cycle, are in place. So that's going on in Nigeria. And I dare say both Dr. Tanko, Morris, and a whole lot of other people are doing great work at state level, boards, local government level, name it, they are working. Do they need more hands? Absolutely. right? And that's part of the role that we as Diaspora can play, even if it means deploying our finances to support those activities. You also spoke about changing narratives. One thing that we did very effectively on social media during the last election was we all became individual PR experts. We all did our job. We don't have the legacy media. We only have social media, which is what we're trying to deploy. We have media organizations that have come up and are making sure that what they put out there is factual. Can we do more? We can always do more. The director of communications, Nana, unfortunately was bereaved and therefore could not make this meeting tonight. I spoke to her earlier on, and I know some of the plans that she has shared about what they want to do. I mean, recently you would have seen the newsletter that was put out by her team, which they intend to do weekly. They want to expand it, move it offline. Yeah, but all of that again is about us making sure that we are funding the activities that we see as being vital to the survival of this movement and the success of us as a movement in making the changes in Nigeria that we want to see. So I mean, that's what I would say about that. So I'm going to go to the next person.
But hold up, Belanle,
yes.
Hold on. I think it's important that people are spending their time. This meeting was planned for 1.5 hours maximum. We're already over about 29 minutes because we started late. So we're going to try to wrap up in the next 10 minutes. So anybody who has a questions, just 30 seconds, we'll note the questions, and then we'll talk about the next step and close the meeting. It's important for us to keep the time, remain disciplined. We want to do some things differently. So just keep in mind, we'll wrap up in the next 10 minutes. There are going to be subsequent meetings for the diaspora people for us to discuss details. And so please bear in mind, we're not trying to shut anybody up, but we need to be respectful of people's time. They made our time to be here. We need to respect that, and we need to wrap up in the next 10 minutes. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. David. All right, I'll go to the next person. It's PA or PA, or whatever it is you want to ask your question.
Oh yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, the host. My name is Peter, and I'm in the US. I just have one question. My question is that, are we fashioning out like contingency plans to stand up to INEC and the federal might in the elections? And I'm saying this because we know what happened in Rivers State. It was not because we did not have representatives in the polling units. I follow almost everything that happened in that election. There were like clear cases where there were people who actually signed signatures, but then INEC did their own thing. They just announced who they wanted and the results that they wanted. Same thing happened in places. Of course, we know, like in Lagos, where people were threatened not to come out to vote again, and of course, it affected the subsequent election. And you also see that, like, since that 2023, we have had like 2 different elections. The last one being the Edo State, which was purely just a selection in all forms. You can look at it. So we can have all the media thing in place. We can have the publicity, which obviously I know that Obi is the most popular person in Nigeria now, being talked about. Almost everybody wants him now. But the thing is, what are we fashioning out as contingency plans to stand up? Because for me, it's like a war, actually. They were fighting a war without shooting a bullet. That is just the truth. We can put in all the efforts, donate all the money, vote, and these guys will come out and announce who they want when they want.
So Peter, there are plans. We will not discuss them here. There are contingency plans. And there are ongoing conversations around electoral reform, or the sanctity of the ballot box, right? But we cannot. This was open. It was an open meeting, so we can't discuss it here. But there are plans. We are considering it. Thank you for your question, though. Can I go to Dr. Aikwele? Sorry, sir, I am really bad with pronouncing names, but if you want to unmute and ask your question, sir.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you. My name is Dr. Aikwele. Actually, I have a question and then a suggestion. My question stems around what the last speaker actually said. And my suggestion was for the movement to also have a directorate for manifesto, policy, and strategic thinking. And I am volunteering to be part of the directorate when it is created. Thank you.
Thank you for that suggestion. Dr. Tanko, please take note of it. If you reach out to one of us after the meeting, and we can have that a further conversation around that. Thank you for your question and your suggestion. Louis Ugochukwu, sorry, hold on. All right, you can unmute now. Do you want to ask your question, please? Louis Ugochukwu, are you there? Okay, I'll move on to the next person. Samuel Ojiako, do you want to unmute? Or is Louis back? Is Louis, were you unmuting? Louis, are you there? Or not? Okay. Samuel Ojiako, do you want to unmute and ask your question, please?
Oh, good evening, everybody. Please, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
My name is Samuel. I'm calling. Yes, I'm joining from Saudi Arabia. Thank you, Dr. Gara and Dr. Tanko, for being here. I want to commend you for what you have been doing so far. My contribution this evening, quite a lot of people have mentioned some of the things I wanted to say. Strategy is very important. I want to volunteer to be part of the strategy team. However, this election we are going into is a war. In fact, these guys are going to be more vicious this time around. We need funding, and funding. I don't know why I sounded this way. We have to match them propaganda to propaganda. We have to match them word for word. We have to be on the media space. We have to be on the television. It costs money. I am privileged to be in the university. I'm an associate professor in the university. When an issue happened in my university, people are talking on social media. I knew the role I played. I deploy resources to put MDCAN, that is medical and dental consultant, on 3 television stations. And the following day, the decision was reversed. I want to say that to match this onslaught from APC, we need to be ahead of the game. We don't have to be reactionary. And so, if it is possible, please, diasporans and colleagues, let's raise money. And then we should reach out to PO. It is not a time to play gentleman this time around. It should reach out to the bourgeois who have this money. Trump couldn't do it in America until he got Elon Musk and other billionaires to support his aspiration. We need, in fact, Mr. Peter Obi and Obidient need funding. The communication and media team need at least $1 billion to be able. These guys are in the, look at the contracts they are awarding. They are awarding per kilometer of 1 trillion. This is where they are getting funding to do whatever they are doing. We cannot be talking on social media alone and then come and react when somebody does things. No, this is my contribution. I will contribute later in subsequent meetings, but let's tell ourselves the truth. We need money, money, and money. Thank you.
Point taken. Thank you.
Yes.
Point taken. Right. So we're like trying to wrap up. I will only be no one, anyone else that puts their hands up, unfortunately, you would have to speak at another meeting once we hold it. Please go straight to point, ask your question. I'm going to the next person. Lewis, if you're available now, unmute. If not, I will move to the next person. Lewis, are you there? Okay, right. I'm going to the next person. Wale Olorunleke, right? If you want to unmute and ask your question real quick.
Thank you, Mama B. My name is Wale Olorunleke, and my question is around the immediate challenge before us, which is the forthcoming primaries. I want to ask if there are fallback plans in place for PO and the team, should in case the platform that is currently being considered does not work in the favor of the Obidient movement. Is there any other credible platform that the team is planning to fall back to as a plan B? Thank you.
We have plans A, B, C, and D. There are plans afoot so that either way PO will be able to contest. So we're kind of like forward planning. But like, again, I can't discuss the details there, but there are definitely plans. Thank you. Dr. Lennox, I don't know. Sorry, my apologies. If you want to unmute and ask your question. Dr. Leonix, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you very much, Sister B. Yeah, so I just have a question which I think you actually hinted about, but I just need a little bit of clarity. You mentioned that there are groups, individuals that have been assigned for each region. I'm not sure where do we find information on that, because it will be very important for us to be able to coordinate with them.
Yeah, so Doc, so what it is what I was alluding to is the fact that that's the plan, right?
That's okay.
That is the plan. And so this meeting, next steps was part of the conversation about how you all get involved and volunteer. And with Dr. David will come and talk about that briefly before we round up, right? So that is the plan. That is the plan. That we have, we have regions and we have zones within those regions. And the plan is that we have that across the diaspora so that there are volunteers who coordinate the efforts on a zonal sort of basis. So that was one of the reasons why we called this meeting, for people to volunteer. All right, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Next person, I've got Kolade Kayode. If you want to unmute and ask your question.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kolade Kayode, and straight to the point. Dr. Stanko, thank you for all you do, sir. So, do we have a chart like stating like each of the directorates and how we can reach them? Because like got to understand that so many times you see a challenge, you can speak in general forum, and you have to like go either, if you don't know anyone, like I know someone, I usually go to like WhatsApp message, just send a message and she responds to me, but I don't think that's the proper thing to do. So please, can we get to know our directorates? Can we get to know them so that we don't just keep like mounting everything on Dr. Tanko or Sister B or whoever? Let us get to know them so that we know who to ask questions, because our people need leadership out there, especially politically. And that worries me, because we just like breeze blowing all over the place. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kolade. I mean, we did, when all of the directors were in position, we did announce it on social media. However, yeah, it's not a problem. We will put contacts out there, and I know Century is working on a complaints, concerns, and a way in which you can ask questions. He is putting that together as we speak, and so that you will know that you can ask questions via that process, or once you have the names of the person that you feel that the issue falls under their directorate, you'll be able to contact them directly. So that's a thought. But thank you for your question. So next person is Godswill Wankwo. If you want to unmute and ask your question, sir. Hello, we can't hear you. Hello, Godswill. I know you're unmuted, but we cannot hear you. Right?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you. Go on.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna make it real quick, okay? The sign up and the registration fee on the Obidient website is offered.
Right, so you're very faint. Are you using an AirPod? I mean, can you speak to the phone so we can hear you?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better. Go ahead, ask your question.
Okay, so sign up and registration feature on the Obidient website, website is offered. I provide resources to my people in Nigeria from one.
Oh my God, you've gone faint again. Or is it me, Dr. David? Can you hear? Because I can't hear you properly.
Move on to the next person because we need to wrap up. There's going to be another meeting. There's going to be another meeting. So
all right, so let me go to the next person. We couldn't hear him. Lifa, do you want to ask your question?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Mine is a quick one. Dr. Mo, congratulations on your candidacy. I think I want to ask, what is the immediate plan to put another acting Secretary General in Dr. Mo's role? We had this similar issue last in 2023 when we had the youth leader wanting to contest, because I believe it's a conflict of interest. And number one, we need a Secretary General that can coordinate unencumbered with the media and communications directorate, so that Dr. Mo can focus fully on the political candidacy while we also mobilize support for him. So what is the plans for that as a matter of urgency?
Dr. Mo, are you still here with us? Dr. Mo? Is Dr. Mo here? I've not heard. I don't know if he's here. He's still here. Dr. David, can you see Dr. Mo? I can't.
Is it possible? Is everybody okay? Can you hear me now?
Who's this?
Hello? This is Godswill. This is Godswill.
Okay.
Lifa will get back. We'll get back to you after
on
we
the broken
speak
website.
to Mo.
Right now.
You're very muffled. You're very muffled, so we're not hearing you clearly. And I'm trying to wrap up the meeting.
I say I have people on the ground in my various local governments right now in various wards, and they're trying to register a whole bunch of people from my community, and they're complaining that the
Godswill, hold on, Godswill, yeah. Thank you. Godswill, we said we're going to have meetings, and we're going to talk about how we're going to organize and how you can utilize whatever systems you put in place. Let's be organized. The diaspora needs to be organized so that we can be more effective. So please, we thank you for what you're doing. There's going to be a framework and a platform for you to advance the good work that you're doing. Okay, so thank you. We'll get there. We have anticipated a lot of things, but we want to be open and transparent about how we are going about this.
Okay, so my question is he working or not? Is he working or not?
Right,
is the website working or not?
Well, so I don't know if there's an issue, we would forward your concerns to Anthony and his team. I don't know that it's not working. Some people are still registering, but if there's an issue, we will signpost it to him and let him be aware that you're not able, in your community, are not able to register. So if that's an issue, we will get back to you. If you leave your
just have the Abia State coordinator get in touch with me, because I've been asking for that for the past 1 month.
All right.
Have him get in touch
no
with
worries. Me. Dr. Tanko, Century, can you take note, please? And if we can do that, thank you. Right. I know that other people have now put their hands up, but right, 1 minute each, and we need to round up. We honestly need to round up now. Kingsley, you go first. Or Milton, if you could speak, please. Kingsley, are you there? I will move to the next person if I'm not getting a response. There is Chibuke. If you want to unmute and ask your question.
Hello. Yeah,
Hello.
good evening, everyone. Thank you all for all the effort. Mine is just a question. I want to know what is the process of being a member of Obidient family here in UK? You know, I've been asking this question for a couple of weeks without answer. I just want to know what it takes to be a member of Obidient movement in UK. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your question. One of the things that we wanted to talk about at the end is, for example, in the UK, we are working towards having a launch event in which you obviously will be invited to. It will also be an opportunity for you to register. And that's coming, I think it's first Saturday in September. I'll just confirm and let you know. If you want to contact me directly, I would give you as much information as I can about that. But it's something that's afoot. It's hoping that based on the modeling that Dr. David has done, we have localized it so that it fits the UK. And we're planning a launch event in which everybody will be invited to. And you can also take part, you can be an active member of the movement by plugging into that structure once we've had that event. I'm going to move to the next person. Anayo Ekeanya. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name. If you want to unmute and speak, please.
Hello, yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go on.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. I have just few questions for Dr. Tanko Yunusa. I don't know if he's still here with us.
He's here, but can you make it one question, please? Because we have times are no longer
Oh,
on our
yeah,
side.
okay. Sorry, I'm going to make more like I'm going to make it as fast. Okay, first of all, I need to get clarification. There's media news that INEC has recognized Nenadi Usman. Is that yes or no? Number one. Number two, the online support group registration I did immediately a day or two after it was advertised on Twitter by this other guy. And I never got any email response or anything because I'm in Diaspora. I'm in UAE actually. So I don't know why. Does it mean I have to be physically there to get any collect the certificate or so? Because I know I did this on the article before and I got certificate. So I have not gotten anything on the online support groups registration, which I did online. And the third question is the online membership registration also, which I did online. No any correspondence, no any feedback. I just want to know, does it mean unless I'm physically present, I'll the secretariat in Abuja if I can collect these certifications? Thank you.
We'll circle back in a minute to you. Dr. Tanko, please make a note of that question. The last person that I'm going to ask to speak is Ekene Chikwelu. Any other person? I do apologize. I can't take anyone else. Ekene, are you there? Can you ask your question?
No, it's not Ekene, it's Morris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm in New York City, right? So when Morris was here in New York City, I met with him, and he met with a few other guys here in New York City. But we actually didn't have formal meeting because he was going on to upstate New York. So, and he planned that whenever he comes back again, we'll have an elaborate meeting and all of that. But my question is, who is coordinating New York City for for the Obidient movement so that we can have a formal structure here. Maybe the person can send a message to your Twitter feed so that we can see it here in New York also.
Right. Thank you, Maurice. Again, I'm going to say we haven't got those structures in place yet. It is something that we want you all to be involved in. We have said that we need volunteers, and at the end of this meeting, as we round up now, we will tell you what the next steps are and how you can be involved where you are.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, right. So that's the end of the question and answer session for tonight. Apologies to anyone who wasn't able to ask a question. There will be other opportunities to do so. I'm going to hand back first to Dr. David. Dr. David, if you want to Dr. David, if you want to
Thank you, Bolanle, and thanks all who have patiently waited till the end of this meeting. We are asking for volunteers. We have posted the regions in a platform, WhatsApp platform we call the Obidient, Global Obidient Engagement Platform. I am going to post the numbers that you can reach Bolanle and I shortly, but I'm going to delete those numbers because even as we were in this meeting, people hacked into the meeting. I've just posted them. If you could quickly note the numbers and write them, because I'm going to delete this. We don't want to be inundated by prank calls. We don't want that to happen, but because we want people to reach out to us so we can explain in details some of the questions and then put you in the global engagement and mobilization forum where you can get updates about meetings that are going to be coming in the future, where you can volunteer. There's something I want to say about those who are really, really interested in Nigeria. We're also going to be able to post the names of the directorates. If you are in the diaspora and you are from a state and you are interested in working with that state or with that region, we're going to post information that you can coordinate with the head of that directorate. We need to get organized so that you can coordinate with them. If we're doing things haphazardly, we are not going to be able to achieve our mission. So we should be mindful of being organized and doing things the proper way. My co-director here uses a word that I have become endeared to. It's the avoiding the anyhowness of the way we do things. We've been very deliberate, we've been very systematic, and all the questions that you've asked today are valid, but we need to address them in a very fundamental, deliberate, focused way. Otherwise, we may not be able to achieve anything. So please bear with us. We recognize the efforts that you've made. We appreciate your enthusiasm. We've talked to many people across the world. I want to take this opportunity to actually commend those in Germany, those in the UK, those in Mexico, those in Canada, those in France, those in Saudi Arabia, those in Cameroon, those in Ghana, those in East Africa that reached out to us, those in Australia, those in Japan. So we have actually been communicating with diasporans throughout the world. We're going to discuss in the subsequent meetings the details of how we're going to share with you the organizing framework that would clarify some of these questions that you are asking, how we can liaise with Nigeria, how fundraising, who should be in charge, what are the avenues for fundraising, how is that going to be accounted for. Those who want to participate in social media campaigns, there's going to be a platform. We're going to ask questions. We're going to create a platform for people in the diaspora to register. Is in the work so that people in the diaspora, according to geographical locations, can register and we know who we are. So these plans are in the work. We want you to participate. We're not sitting down as permanent people in the positions. Bolanle and I, just placeholders, we're interim. We want people with energy, people who can do things to come on, take on responsibility, leadership positions. It's all open. So we encourage you to join. Please join, reach out to us, and we thank you, and we hope we continue to work together. Thank you very much for coming, and we appreciate the work that you've done.
Thank you, Dr. David. Dr. Tanko, in your last word with us, could you also answer that question about INEC and Senator Nanadi, if you can? Dr.
Okay,
Tanko.
let me thank every one of you. Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead,
Can you
sir.
hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I want to thank, yes, please, I want to thank every one of you from the bottom of my heart for finding time to join us in this meeting. The work has just started and it's going to go on a double speed. So please take advantage of this opportunity that we've already put on your templates. Now, everybody, please reach out to Dr. David and Sister Bolanle on the formation of the diaspora. Is very key to us. We can have as many people as possible to join us, to give these beautiful ideas that we have, so that it can help us to be stronger as a movement. Once that is done, we're better off for it. Now, the question about Senator Nanadi, as long as there's no formal information written and signed by INEC, even that you have to be sure it's coming from the INEC portal, then please disregard it until when you see this particular position and in writing sent out by INEC. A lot of people try to cause a lot of discontent within the system, and they send out all kinds of messages just to create apprehension within the polity. So don't be hoodwinked with that. Let us wait for INEC to make a pronouncement. I'm sure they are working on something. Once that is being made known, everybody will see it. So that's the response I can give to you with regard to that particular question. But please and please, we are not going to sleep. We're going to continue to work. We have a battle ahead of us, and they are going to meet us in the battlefront. We must remain formidable, and we must continue to act and work together as a team. Together as a team, we can get to that destination. Thank you, and God bless you as you go to bed. Think Nigeria, speak Nigeria, work in thinking about Nigeria, and have it at the back of our mind that the new Nigeria that we all dream of is definitely going to be possible. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tanko. Thank you, everyone who has stand up today. I know that it was very much last minute, and I apologize for that. In future meetings, you will have enough time to organize yourselves. And again, bear it in mind that what we are asking for at this point is for people to volunteer wherever it is that you're based, right? We are going to put out that information on social media where you have an opportunity to give your details, and we would add you to whichever zone that you fall under. Bear with us. Me and Dr. David are going to try our best to get that done as soon as possible. But in the next 24 to 48 hours, keep a lookout, and you will see that. We would also post it in as many groups that we're all both in, the Diaspora groups that we're in. And we ask that you also do play a role in this by also talking to people you know in your locality who are obedient, that perhaps are not as plugged in as you in social media, so that they can also be involved. Right? We are only as strong as we decide to be by all being involved and playing a role in this. Right. Once again, I want to thank you all for coming this evening. I think at the height we had over 130 people, and considering it only went out 48 hours ago, we appreciate you all. But keep an eye out. You will see more information as the days go by, and we're asking that you all join us again as soon as we schedule another meeting where we could then drill down in some of the other things that perhaps we can't discuss here. Thank you once again, and have a pleasant evening, afternoon, or morning, wherever you are. Thank you.